Well, Twitch chat, 85% of you said that K1ck should shave his beard. I'm not so sure. I'm actually a big fan of the beard, Georgia. I'm going against Twitch chat here. I'm a big fan of K1ck's beard. Don't shave it, K1ck. You look awesome, mate.
Listen, Twitch chat is not a big fan of me, so I'm going to say yes, shave it. I'm just going to go with 85% of the people.
Pandering to the masses, Georgia, it's not the way forward. You got to stand by your beliefs.
Okay,
my
fine.
Belief is that
his beard is majestic AF, and it shouldn't go anywhere by his face. Full stop.
There you go. There, stand by your beliefs. That beard is awesome. Now look, let's get back into the real business. We are into this semi-final 1-0 to K1ck Neosurf right now. The Ultra League are find themselves one win away from securing their second ever finals appearance in the European Masters. The last time it was done was the very first European Masters for Illumina Gaming, where they faced up against Origin. And a lot of people felt a bit cheated by it because Origin had a cheat card of some incredible players. They had some legends like Forgiven and Froggen on that roster. So I think a lot of Polish fans, they are desperate to finally get what they deserve, which is that finals appearance and a fair shot at the European Masters titles. So I think this is a big game for K1ck Neosurf, especially with all those that whole Polish roster. It has been incredible to watch so far. And I know, Georgia, we are converted fans of this team now.
And to be honest, seeing how Tinks talked about wanting the competition, I just want to see how he matches up against Shlatan and the way he plays around the map when he is unlocked into it. But of course, Shlatan and his crew have to go through Movistar Riders. Movistar Riders who have also fallen behind one game versus Fnatic, but then they came back, reverse sweep. So before I eat all the words that I said about K1ck and everything, we just have to see what's going on here.
Yeah, of course. Let's not count out the SLO. This is like, I call it their anime redemption arc from the very early stages of the European Masters. That first year in 2018, that was SLO year. That was SLO all over the shop. They were like, yep, this is our territory. We are, the best teams in Europe. And I think since then, other regions have stepped up. The LFL, the Prime League, and now you're even seeing Ultra League doing the same. Now it's time, Movistar Riders, if they want to really redeem the SLO, carry them to their third finals appearance in the European Masters, now's the time where you stamp down and you find that win. Because if you lose here, you're out. That's it. You're leaving in the semi-finals. So this is do or die for Movistar Riders in this game, and it's so important for Spain and the SLO as well, who constantly produce so many excellent teams and so many great pieces of talent. Into Champion Select, Georgia, I heard some ums and ahs. Talk to me about those ums and ahs through this ban phase.
I do like the LeBlanc Zoe ban, if I'm honest right here, because Matislaw can be a real pain in the booty with both of them. So taking them completely out of the board might actually benefit Movistar right here and their mid lane matchup. We saw Xico playing a very mean Orianna versus Fnatic in their previous series. So I just want to see the same calculated early and aggressive mid to late from them. But of course, Puki style on that Varus, it's a great takeaway from JaVaaa as well, because JaVaaa has been so good position-wise on that Varus in the bot lane that it's really good to take it away from him. And you know what? You get a break from the affiliates as well. On the other side, though, when you pick an immobile ADC, Trundle might appear, and Eloya is going to snatch that right up.
And the Syndra, which was banned against Movistar Riders last time round, does get locked in. Whether that can flex down, I'm assuming it can flex down to JaVaaa if he really wants, as well as Xico having the opportunity to take that. Misfortune is available should Movistar Riders want that for JaVaaa, which is his most played AD carry in this tournament. Obviously with Varus and Kalista being his seconds. But again, we'll have to wait to see when we get to that final pickup here for Movistar Riders. It's going to be the Ornn once again for Ibo. It was such an excellent pick in terms of the impact that he had in those skirmishes. Again, when Ibo does well, it feels like K1ck do well. That top side of the map can really just turn games on its head. It really did, Georgia, I remember talking to you at like 15 minutes into that game, saying, well, the gold lead's there, but it's not huge. And then like 5 minutes later, K1ck had just complete control of the game.
Yeah, true. And oh man, this is like one of my least favorite matchups when I see Corki getting locked in. I'm very interested to see the build. This is what I'm going to be peeling my eyes on, because I'm a firm believer that Shu Hex Drinker takes Corki behind in his scaling and that Trinity Force power spike, but I feel it's very important for K1ck to get that power spike early because they like fighting early. Now, Syndra is really good at wave clear, so if you don't have the mana moon, good luck with your mana reservation? No. Preservation? Yes. You tell me. You're English.
I think you were going for like your mana reserve or preserving your mana, I guess.
So preservation. Yeah, is that a word? Preservation?
Yeah, preservation's right. Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, I think I'll give you the English stamp of approval on that. Honestly, to be honest, your vocabulary is often better than mine, so I wouldn't put yourself down, Georgia. Like, I'm English, and I sometimes think, wow, that's a great word, Georgia. It's going to be the Gragas ban here. Shlatan will not get his hands on his Gragas. I've been told a lot about Shlatan's Gragas, and I know he's played it throughout this tournament already. We never get to see it. We just never get to see Shlatan's Gragas here. The Lee Sin's still available, of course. He knows that he's playing into Trundle, so he knows which jungle matchup he's got right now. A couple of bans coming through here. Not going to be a Maokai for beansu. They are just going to take away some of the other tanks. And again, beansu has kind of been tank duty this entire tournament. He's basically played mostly Maokai and mostly Ornn. The majority of his games were Ornn before this, with 6 and then 4 games of Maokai.
I'm expecting Set to possibly get banned out here as well, because Set's ult is really, really powerful, and in general his kit when you're playing with the Misfortune. So it's once a flex if it goes through and Movistar pick it, so you can put it bot and top, but it's also a great tool to enable your ADC, and I wouldn't be surprised if Movistar pick it here since it's still available.
We'll see if that prediction does come true. Movistar's just waiting for it. It's going to be... I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the Warwick. It's going to be the Sion. Yeah, the Sion gets locked in for beansu. Now, like we said, he had advantage in terms of keeping Ivo locked down in lane. You constantly just push him in. You make it difficult for Ornn in the early game. But we saw Ivo, he just got his CS. He got his items. He kept even with beansu in that top side and then became useful as the game progressed. It is going to be the Lee Sin for Shlatan. Why fix it when it ain't bloody broke? And we'll see what K1ck decide to round out their comp with. I think we're waiting on just the support here.
Most likely a Braum would be really good here, because you can block bullet time, but you can also block the Syndra ultimate coming your way. So it's sort of like another shield of protection for Puki style on that Varus. Something I want to touch on is that we've constantly been saying that Matislaw is not going to have the priority in the mid lane. Such was the case in the previous one. We were saying it at least, but he proved us wrong. Again, my eyes are going to get peeled on that mid lane, because the Lee Sin Corki matchup didn't go well last time they played it, and right now with Zilean being locked in, 2 immobile carries on the side of Movistar and a revive on their side. That's I didn't like their previous draft, but I'll give them a stamp of approval on this one because I find it genius.
Okay, I mean, obviously also Braum is like a magnet for Zilean bombs, so he just like absorbs them. Like just so it's usually something that can be a bit of an issue in that bot lane. But yeah, I like the adaptation here from Movistar Riders. I like that their damage is a bit more consistent as well. You know, they're not relying on that single source of Cassiopeia. I think this is a better all-round draft. But what do you make of it up against K1ck Neosurf, who have a bit more scaling to work with than they usually do? I mean, obviously we can expect Puki style to be a bit more, maybe if he's going to lethality build, be a bit more impactful mid game. But there is a bit more scaling than we're used to seeing coming out from K1ck, especially, you know, relying on 2 item spikes, for instance.
Knowing that Puki likes to play for his late game, he likes going underneath the radar and then suddenly popping into a team fight with full items and sort of one-shotting everyone. I wouldn't have him passing to go for the auto-attack Varus right here, because you're going to have to deal with the Trundle and the Sion coming at you, so you don't necessarily want to be playing too close to the Syndra. So if that was the case, I would say sure, go for the poke, try to get her down, but first you have to dispatch of the 2 tanks. To do so, you're gonna need a Raid's Blade somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think obviously there is still a beefy front line that you got to work through with Movistar Riders.
And he's like, no, screw that.
We are into game, ladies and gentlemen. K1ck versus Movistar Riders. If K1ck win this game, they will secure the second time ever the Polish region getting to the finals in the European Masters. And for Movistar Riders, they would be continuing an already established legacy of SLO teams, making it so far into this competition. Movistar Riders need to get the win here, though. They need to find a way to bounce back in this semi-final, because right now it's looked all K1ck in the start of this semi-final. That first game was very dominant.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Movistar really hit back right here. They've got some very crucial champions on their side. That Misfortune, like you said, JaVaaa has played it 4 times so far, so he's a champion that he feels very comfortable playing. Syndra, a big menace in the mid lane, so annoying to play against, and of course you can't necessarily easily itemize versus what Movistar have chosen to go with right here, because both Syndra and Misfortune can dish a huge amount of mixed damage. Mixed as in Misfortune deals AD, Syndra deals AP, just so I don't get paraphrased or something.
No, don't worry. I'm very well aware of the mixed damage coming from AD and AP, and I think again there is a bit of that on K1ck as well. I mean, Corki is kind of like a mixed damage carry. Corki. Yeah, this is a level 2 gank coming up from Shlatan, by the way. A level 2, I'm guessing, to go onto rhuckz as the exhaust is already there. He flashes right into the path of Shlatan, who should easily pick up first blood. And that is a punish on a very weak early level 1 support here. Shlatan already off to a powerful start in this game.
Alright, he doesn't just get the first blood, which is so important, playing that aggro early game jungler. He has the priority, he has the numbers in the bot lane. Eloya is already there, so he might sneak around and try to fight for the smite.
Well, Shlatan now sees Xico a little bit out of position, but will realize as Xico moves away from that mid lane that that blue buff is not on the cards for him here, but he's not going to get his buff taken away. He got away with that level 2 gank for free, Georgia. He got away with it for free. Not even going to lose anything on his side of the map. So, as a nice heads-up play, and it's given the advantage over to Puki Style and Raxxo here, who are now putting pressure onto JaVaaa and rhuckz just naturally through that early pressure generated.
He did get the kill for free, but something we have to pay attention here is that Eloya is now ahead in experience, so he's the one that's going to be hunting for Shlatan in his jungle. He's still level 2 because he's only been able to clear 2 of his camps, whilst Eloya has cleared 4 of them. Has the level 3, he's very comfortable, he has his double buffs. He can actually control the map at this point because Shlatan, sure, successful on the kill, but behind in experience.
Yeah, and also I think Eloya would have seen that blue buff is still around, or because it wasn't on Shlatan there, so he should pretty easily be able to walk into the blue side jungle if he really wanted to, especially with the priority that Xico is picking up in the mid side of the map, and that's looking like what he's going to do. Aibo did scout him out, but Eloya will get the 3. Eloya will get the 3 buff start here.
I think that Shlatan is wasting so much time right now that the Trundle is about 10 CS ahead of him. You obviously cannot level 3 dive the bot lane because the bombs and the exhaust are there for the side of Movistar. So all in all, if we're talking about jungle matchups, I do feel that Eloya is having the upper hand right now. Shlatan is like, I'm just gonna sit here and wait, and hopefully that Braum will spawn fast enough.
I think he's looking for a dive, actually, maybe to put pressure onto rhuckz once more. They have got the wave to work with. Rhuckz, I guess, will be the target. The exhaust still available, like we said, and immediately the exhaust comes through. He converts. Shlatan does find it, but will trade back onto JaVaaa here, and will lose out just a little bit. But again, it's just putting pressure on this bot lane where he can.
Yeah, but the Misfortune is pretty comfortable sitting underneath her tower. I don't think a Braum and a Varus solo can dive a Misfortune at this point in time. She has the flash, she has the cleanse available. I think it is Shlatan putting himself further behind because kills are not everything when you're going up against a super late game scaling composition that Movistar have right now. So sure, you're putting the pressure, but as you can see, JaVaaa is able to keep up with the CS, only 4 behind, and Eloya is now level 5 versus level 3 of Shlatan and 20 CS ahead.
Yeah, he's definitely got the CS advantage, but Shlatan does have kills, which equate to gold as well. So, in terms of gold values, I'd be interested to see what's separating them right now. You know, Shlatan's actually got the lead in terms of gold, but again, the experience does matter here. The experience advantage that Eloya has generated will matter.
You know what it is? You know what it is, like Scoundrel? It's when like a kid is trying to do something wrong. You're like, no, bad. And you sort of like slap their hands down. It's like the same for Shlatan. Stop going bot lane. Take your jungle. Bad.
Yeah, I think until he gets punished for it, though, you know, until Eloya actually does something with this experience advantage, we're probably in an okay spot for K1ck. I mean, Shlatan will feel okay with the lead that he's generated. He should be able to smite this away and dive over the wall, getting himself the first Drake of the game as well. So that experience advantage will matter a little bit, but for it to actually have an impact, Eloya will have to do something with it. And speaking of doing something, Ibo does come down into that mid lane. A nice bit of fancy feet from Xico means he will just ever so gracefully jump away, and Matislaw will be forced to flash here as well, as Xico actually burnt his flash also.
Okay, in exchange for flashes in the mid lane, I think Xico is on the back foot, of course, here, not having a displacement spell, whilst Matislaw on the Corki will have his W, does a gank appear from Eloya. So we know that Shlatan does like to play around Matislaw, and what Matislaw provides for him. Now, is Shlatan gonna provide for his mid laner instead here and try to gank onto that Syndra? Because she sure does seem like a very juicy target with no flash.
No. Shlatan just wants to go
bot lane it is.
Shlatan would like to go bot lane. He's actually setting up, I think, for the respawn on the blue buff, but JaVaaa and rhuckz are going to move in on to this Braum. They're going to start to pressure out Shlatan with the double bombs coming through. And now you are starting to see the effects of being a little bit further behind.
For the love of God, go farm, Shlatan. Go and farm.
He should get level 5 of this next camp, though. So, again, being a little bit behind to Eloya is going to be a little bit hard to deal with right now. But once he hits level 6, maybe around that Rift Herald time, as long as he has got a level 6 to match Eloya, might be in a slightly better scenario. That Eloya maybe has found an opportunity to try and punish this. Although, actually, I say that Shlatan is very far behind. Didn't get level 5 off the red buff.
Nope. He didn't. He was just level 3, and he just didn't level 4 by the time he was trying to invade.
Oh, yeah, that was the ultimate coming out. The Chains of Corruption did land, but now Puki style forced to flash, and Eloya will be there. And he flashes over, like we said, be forced to flush that away. I think Eloya might even pick up the kill. JaVaaa picks it up very nicely with a double up. And actually, finally, they get a little bit of revenge for all the pain they've received in the early game on this bot side of the map.
At this point, you're not necessarily scared of the Lee Sin showing up due to the fact that he is behind in levels, so you can actually try and take the 2v3 with the Zilean Misfortune lane. So again, they were pushing. Puki style was super low on HP, same as Raxxo. They tried to pull the trigger onto JaVaaa, but JaVaaa, luckily for him, does have the cleanse to get out of the root, and Eloya shows up in time just so he can assist his ADC and give him that kill. 2-0 now into the Misfortune, and we've talked about the repercussions of allowing a Misfortune to get ahead of a poke Varus. Allowing that Misfortune to get ahead means that your Varus will not be having a huge impact in the mid game, because Misfortune will simply be dishing so much more damage than you.
And actually, because of the advantage they have in terms of the mid right now and that jungle matchup, JaVaa's going to be able to go bot lane and farm, and they'll get the Rift Herald for pretty much free in this scenario. So, good capitalization by Eloya. He will utilize that experience advantage nicely. Shlatan will move over and try and take this blue buff away. rhuckz is there, but the support of Raxxo should be enough to allow Shlatan to secure this.
Yeah, and all in all, I think the two junglers have been exchanging blue buffs anyway, so Eloya will know and be aware, and he might actually move into the jungle of Shlatan trying to get this one, but they're using yet again the priority of Matislaw and trying to put some pressure. Where else on the map, Scoundrel? On the bot lane.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, although the Call of the Forge God comes through, knocks into Xico, who hasn't got the flash. That was a lovely package from Matislaw. Ibo will convert and get the knock-up onto Eloya. Now Shlatan is here. Nice little dive away. The kick is available, and Eloya now will be the target for Matislaw, who gets a kill at the end of this little engage. Finally, they manage to punish Eloya, and they get that mid lane kill.
You know what? If Shlatan doesn't appear in the mid lane to help his mid laner, who's unlocking him in the entire map, Ibo is. That was a great mid lane roam by the K1ck top laner right there, securing 2 kills. One for himself, of course, for his effort, and one for his mid laner.
Oh, baby. I think you're dead, JaVaaa. Nice little bait. Easy as you like for k1ck, who pick up a kill. And finally, some of that advantage generated by Shlatan feels like it's coming to fruition now. I know they took out rhuckz. He's not the target that you want to go for in these dives because JaVaaa did still get 2 kills and kept his CS healthy. But the difference is starting to open up now. Puki style and Raxxo have generated a good lead. They've got those plates. It's looking pretty solid. Let's take a look back at that mid lane fight here, Georgia, and we can talk a bit more about it.
They've spotted Matislaw on the right side, but they haven't been taking in consideration that Iboy could be coming over to the mid lane because they thought he might be trying to shadow the Sion. So they punished both Eloya and Xico for overstepping their welcome onto that mid lane. Of course, Xico burning his flash in the previous skirmish in the mid lane, now ends up going down, but Shelly making her first appearance this game.
Yeah, just going to pick up some free plates here. And again, that's often why k1ck don't even bother with that. I mean, k1ck just don't bother with the first Rift Herald a lot of the time. They aren't as bothered by it. They want to go for priority in lanes and push advantages there. We saw it in the last game as well. They let that first Rift Herald go and didn't try and take the contest when they didn't need to. It will be Movistar Riders picking up their first Drake of the game, the second Drake in total. And it's the Cloud Drake again. So the Cloud Soul will be the soul on offer once more in this semi-final.
Okay. This time Matislaw is not going to be able to get mats from that onto the Corki because he has them on repeat. Oh!
Yeah, there is a gank in the bot lane. That is a nice ultimate from Raxxo. Hasn't got the Unbreakable to stop the bullet time, but the exhaust will do the job. And actually that gank didn't exactly go the way that Eloya was planning.
Actually, I think that was the Unbreakable from Raxxo that did block the bullet time because he definitely did not use it before unless he had it on cooldown. There is no way that BF Misfortune did such little damage with the bullet time. That should have been a kill, but Shlatan has caught up in experience and is now ahead from Eloya, who's trying to make things happen on the map. So, how have the tables turned? Now it's Shlatan ahead in CS, he's ahead in experience in levels, and he's the one controlling the game.
All's well that ends well, Trouble. That's the way I like to look at it. And Shlatan doing the early work. He will reap the rewards later on as it's catch-up for Eloya.
All calculated, right?
Exactly, calculated. That's the way that we're going to look at it. You know, k1ck, the laners got given the advantage in the game. I'm not even going to play-by-play this, mate. I just don't see anyone going down in this scenario.
Come on, give it some passion.
No one's. I know what that matchup goes like. No one dies there. that's just like a wet noodle fight in the top lane.
It's so funny because when there's like 2 beefy top laners, they will hit each other to the point where they're almost dead, and then you see them mutually shaking hands and walking away.
it's just like, good game, sir. Thank you so much for that duel.
Thanks for the little bit of action up here.
I just got to do it in my really posh English voice, you know. Good game, sir. Yes, very happy.
Tip in the hat as well.
Okay, the rotation coming out, I imagine, for, well, actually the second Rift Herald was taken by no one. No one's taken the second Rift Herald.
Nope, not yet.
Nope, not yet. It's is that spawning? It's Baron spawning 6 minutes and 17. I don't know when. I can't see when the next Rift Herald is actually spawning. So I imagine that's why the rotation has come out from Movistar Riders. I guess setting up for that second objective on the top side of the map here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has been what they're focusing on. That Rift Herald has been their focus from the start. They do like getting all these early plates in, getting the gold, and then unlocking the map by taking the tower with the second Shirley coming up. She's going to be coming up at minute 15 here. So they have already swapped their bot lane to the top side. So they have the numbers advantage. But Matislaw does have the package to try and assist Iboy if he's ever in trouble.
Yeah, Eloya is there, though. Ibo's not going to commit to it with the Call of the Forge God. I think he's very well aware that it might have been a risky play to make. And Matislaw now heading back towards mid just to, again, deal with Xico. Has been dealing with him pretty nicely so far. No, you could split hairs between these 2 mid laners right now. They've had a pretty even game. Apart from that one gank that happened, there was a really nice setup from k1ck. There hasn't been too much to call in terms of mid lane action between Matislaw and Xico.
I would really like to see the gold on the 2 bot laners right now, because there you go. This time it's Puki style being ahead, because even though he fell behind with the 2 kills being given over to JaVaaa, he's able to farm his way up, and having these assists and the 1 kill has put you almost 1k ahead. So that's great stuff because he is playing the poke Varus, and you need that extra bit of damage very early on.
right out of the K1ck playbook. It is second Rift Herald that matters. They don't actually get the knock-off onto JaVaaa. JaVaaa finds the bullet time, but the Unbreakable, as you said in Champion Select, does so much work to stop that from coming through. K1ck looking to reset here. It's going to be Shlatan taken very low. And actually, Movistar Riders feeling healthy in this situation. They may end up giving this away. I don't think K1ck want to commit any further here.
Alright, K1ck have fallen into the Movistar trap that Movistar fell into in the previous game. I don't know if you're following me, but that's what I was trying to say. Basically, Movistar were trying to pull skirmishes that weren't very favorable to them due to the not having the amount of items that they needed. You see that the Corki is stuck on a mana moon, not even Mura mana yet. Doesn't have a sheen because he opted for the fade to try and get a little bit more of HP and movement around due to being versus the Syndra and not having the Hex Drinker. So it's survivability over damage. So your Corki doesn't output that much damage. Varus wasn't there for the start to put down some poke before they engage. So even though, sure, your two engages do go in the likes of Aibo and Shlatan, the damage is just not yet there.
Let's take a holistic look at the game right now, and I think something that has crept up on me has been this 4K gold lead that K1ck have just materialized. It really hasn't felt like there's been a huge amount happening, but K1ck have got a 4K gold lead at 16 minutes. That is what I would consider significant trouble. They are working with that early game once more. They are making it work for them, and they've got a significant gold lead to show for it. This is classic K1ck, right? This is a great position for this game.
A great position for them, and they've also got a being secure sort of term for the late game in the likes of Matislaw, because he's gonna be dishing out a lot of consistent damage, whilst Puki style wants to sort of fight the Syndra from as far away as he can without Xico ever being able to touch him. So even though I said, sure, Puki style will have at some point to deal with beansu and Eloya being his face, it's going to be Shlatan and Matislaw flying through to the backline to try and assassinate Xico and JaVaaa. So that poke lands from the Varus, it's the go button for the other two.
Do you know what I like to call the late game phenomenon? I can't say that word. I'm just not even going to try. Do you know what I like to call that? It's like I call it the late game insurance policy. You have
absolutely.
the early game. You know, you have this lethality Varus, you have the Sin. We talk about K1ck's early game aggression and the way they generate leads, but the Corki is the late game insurance policy. If things go wrong, they've got a Corki. And they're ahead in gold as well. Yeah, okay. Should we do it? Should we just do like a
I really want you to play-by-play a fight between the Ornn and the Sion. Come on. I think they really want it as well. They're bored. They've barely been in any fights.
I know, but Aibo has been there more than beansu, which is classic Aibo. You know, when Aibo has this impact for his team, you can really feel it in the way that these mid-game skirmishes go down for K1ck. And I know that last one didn't quite work out the way they wanted it. It was still Aibo that was there at the right time with the ultimate and setting things up nicely. Now, this Rift Herald will get that mid lane tier 1, so finally a tower back for Movistar Riders. They're looking to push it in for tier 2 right now, but it will not get that. I think they'll take that one turret in the mid lane and the second charge as well.
Honestly, since we're talking about Aibo, I have to give a shout out to my dad. My dad doesn't know anything about esports. He's literally started watching now that I'm casting EU Masters, and he was telling me how he thinks K1ck are the favorites because this big guy that was double killing people is just so good. He's just so much better than anyone else. And he was talking about Aibo on the Aatrox, and I'm like, okay, Dad, maybe you should be the analyst instead.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe George's dad just seeing how strong Aibo's Aatrox was in the semifinals, rather quarterfinals. I think that was a good indication, though. That was a really, really great series from Aibo, and I think he stepped up to the plate when K1ck needed it. And you know, he's still doing so on the Ornn. You know, he was still a major win factor for K1ck in their first game here versus Movistar Riders. Remember, K1ck, if they were to win this, they equal the best performance that Poland has ever had in the European Masters. They get to the final. They're matching what Illumina Gaming did in our very first European Masters in spring 2018. And not only that, it really solidifies the Ultraliga as one of the strongest regions in Europe. You know, obviously with Ego Rogue bowing out in the semi-finals, it's probably not what our Polish fans would have wanted, but if K1ck secure this and they get the win, they still have that ability to find redemption. They still have the ability to avenge their fallen brethren in the form of Ego Rogue and essentially prove to the rest of Europe that the Ultraliga is the regional league that you need to watch over the next few months.
And honestly, if you think about it, Ego Rogue fell to LDLC, but K1ck eliminated the first seed from the LFL in the quarterfinals. So do they go into the finals? I think both teams are going to want to take revenge from each other because you didn't give them the all French final if you're LDLC, if you're K1ck, and you didn't give them the all Polish final if you're LDLC. So they're going to want to battle it out for revenge, basically. And maybe for that first place, I'm not sure, but it's mainly revenge.
They have to get through Movistar Riders to get there first, though. Remember, let's not count Movistar Riders out just yet. They're behind, but they're not out. Although
maybe
saying
count
that,
Xico out?
I mean, I'm not sure what that flash was about, Xico. He goes down. Now beansu is committed. Eloya here as well, but Ibo feels unkillable on that front line. rhuckz and JaVaaa will make their way through as a bait, maybe, to draw K1ck in, but K1ck will not take the bait. They will back off and head around to Clear's Vision around Baron.
Yeah, and Movistar very wisely right there. They back off. They know that there's no way K1ck are going to start any shenanigans around the Baron. They do not have the consistent damage yet to do so and threaten it. What they can do, though, is slightly push that mid lane tower to try and furthermore apply fog of war around the map from Movistar and try and control a little bit more the jungle, which is something you definitely want to do if you're playing Lee Sin and you want to play aggressive towards that mid game.
That's a teleport coming out from Xico here. Maybe looking for an engage as he does get a stun onto Shlatan, though. Matislaw is chunking right now. That's a lot of damage coming out from the mid laner. As the Chains of Corruption land, this is the time to go. He's just burnt his flash. Xico, you are gonna get rezzed by rhuckz in this fight. Finally, we see a use of the Zilean ultimate, and he will escape. But it looked almost doom and gloom for the Movistar Riders mid laner there, bailed out by his support.
Get ready, because most of these fights are going to be like this. He got caught and he got rezzed by the Zilean. And I'm not sure, but I think we have a Cloud Soul again. And if by any miracle that soul does end up going to Movistar Riders, the Zilean ult is such a low cooldown, around 30 or 40 seconds if I'm not wrong, somewhere around there, that he's going to be able to dish it so often, you won't be able to kill anyone if you're K1ck, because you don't necessarily have the assassination potential here, but you do have the more consistent damage.
But they have 3 Drakes to get to even consider the Cloud Soul. With one now K1ck, timer has been wound up. The next dragon that spawns will be that Cloud Soul up for grabs for the K1ck Neosurf roster, who are now, if I do another check-in, about 4.5k gold ahead. They are just ever so slightly edging out that lead that they previously had. But I think most importantly, let's have a look at items. Trouble. There is the classic 2-item spike for Corki, the Muramana and the Triforce. There is 2 items there, now working to a Last Whisper for Puki style. They're looking pretty healthy in terms of their respective item spikes.
Yeah, I have been very critical about a lot of the Corkis going towards the Mana Moon, playing versus the Syndra, and they're getting destroyed in the lane due to the lack of the Hex Drinker. But here, Matislaw, he's showing again why he's such a master in the mid lane. He played with so much respect versus Xico's Syndra that not only has he not died in the lane, he was able to even get a kill with the help of his teammates, and he has reached that power spike that you talked about. He now has the Trinity and the converted Mana Moon into a Muramana, so if there's a time for K1ck to start picking fights, it is now. Oh, and he has the package as well.
He's going in, he's looking for an engage. rhuckz and JaVaaa will escape in that scenario. Eloya and Xico now making their way down to match that aggression coming out from K1ck. Puki style will not get locked up, but damage will land onto rhuckz in this scenario. Though you say that, Eloya now jumping in, just doing what he can, throwing down the pillar as there is the Unbreakable. Call of the Forge God. This is going to be huge from Ibo. What an absolute beast of an ultimate coming out for our man in the top lane. That Call of the Forge God was all the difference maker for K1ck as they now start to chase down Movistar Riders like the prey they are. And K1ck are just the predators all over the map and they're going to go for that Baron too. What an excellent skirmish leading into a potential Baron for K1ck.
K1ck dished out so much damage to everyone that rhuckz did not know who to press his R on. He ends up pressing it onto himself, loses both of his carries in the process, and K1ck might be looking at a very free Baron right here because Eloya has no flash to get in.
He has no flash, and actually he's just dead. Almost dead anyway, as Matislaw pushes him down to a very low HP. Matislaw over the wall to secure this for K1ck as they take their first Baron of the game. That gold lead looming up towards 7,000 right now. Let's take a look at that fight once more.
I thought there was a very sketchy positioning for K1ck to fight in because Xico does have the opening right there, but a beautiful chain of corruption followed by the knockup from Ornn, and rhuckz was so scared of his life that he popped the ultimate on him, loses both of his carries right here. So excellently played from the side of K1ck. Sats greatness, match gameplay.
Oh my word, this is looking so good for our roster from Poland. Our Ultra Liga representatives that came from the play-ins and now really are staring down a place in the final alongside LDLC. Using this Baron, they're going to shove down that mid lane, extend that gold lead out even further. Oh my word, this is so good. Another engage comes out from beansu. That's going to be Raxxo buying a bit of time. The Call of the Forge God is just good once more. Another 3-man into the knockup from Ornn, and you can see Eloya stuck between a rock and a hard place as the rest of Movistar riders can get nowhere near their jungler. And K1ck continue to beat down on our team from the SLO. They back out under their own turret, but K1ck again take a big W as they head down that mid lane.
That was a 4v5. Good trigger right there from Movistar, seeing Matislaw on the Corki in the top side. A 4v5 that K1ck were very convincingly winning, and then Matislaw comes in for the 5v5 to seal the deal, and that will be a pretty much uncontested inhibitor.
Yeah, they are pushing down into this mid lane. beansu does step forward a bit further, and Shlatan dives in. He goes for K1ck. Oh my word, he finds it onto JaVaaa. The man is a madman on this Lee Sin. You gotta ban it away from him, as now the Polish representatives surely are looking to end the game. Oh my word, K1ck, you can do it. You can push down towards those nexuses for the first time since 2018. Poland are about to find themselves in the finals of the European Masters. From play-ins all the way to that final spot, the Polish squad have swept aside the competition, and only one more hurdle remains. LDLC await them tomorrow in that best of 5. Polska, good on.
And remember, it's not about being the favorite here at Scandal. It is about becoming the favorite. And right here, the LFL is quaking because the team that was able to take the first seed down from the LFL is staring at their second one, waiting at the finals.
Oh my word, what an unbelievable display from K1ck. I mean, that last semi-final between LDLC and Ego Rogue was anything, you know, a close nail-biter, but I mean, K1ck, they crushed it. That was not close. Yeah, that was convincing. I don't want to sugarcoat this. That was not a close semi-final. K1ck came in with all of the force we expected them to, and every early game they took it. I mean, Trouble, that was unbelievable. Look, I think we're going to have to just take a breather here because that was an excellent and very quick end from the K1ck Neosurf squad from Poland. We are going to take a very quick break, but when we're back, I believe either Quick Shot's there with the analyst desk, or he's going to have an interview for us. So after the break, we'll join Quick Shot with whatever he's got planned. Oh.
Congratulations. Hello. Well. Welcome back. That confused me a little bit as well. Quick Shot, Foxtrot, and Celtic Tiger here celebrating the first Polish representative in EU Masters final since 2018, since Illuminar, and the first time that the three of us got to work together. And what a convincing win. I mean, both games very heavily K1ck favored. They came out and it was fairly slow paced, but it was in control. And Foxtrot, it didn't really look like Movistar riders had a chance.
Yeah, K1ck have been so impressive throughout all of EU Masters, really culminating with this series here. Just the individual plays that these guys have whipped out. I think the two people on your screen right now with the two solo laners have been stellar. The LeBlanc play, the Ornn plays, even Matislaw made Corki look like a skillful champion that you can outplay people on. Like legit, he was so good in this series, and I'm just so excited as we're going to move into the finals.
Yeah, and you have to remember as well, this is a person who's already drawing consistent Zoe bans, so you have these extra picks that are now being looked at, now being taken a lot more seriously going into the finals.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Sorry, taking people seriously. Mr. Wyatt, the people's champion. I think you're going to be pretty happy about K1ck winning this, right?
Well, you know what? I wanted to kind of be a little bit humble because I do think that's a sign of a good human being.
No,
humility.
no,
However,
thank you.
However, having said that, congratulations to K1ck, and unfortunately for you, or should I say fortunately for you, you've now adopted the superior facial hairstyle, and I have to say it really suits you, mate. It really does.
I look like Satan's gay son. You know what? K1ck did a great job. They completely beat out Movistar, but yeah, this is horrific, man. I don't know how you walk around like this every day. I'm struggling to sit here for a few minutes. I walked out of the bathroom having shaved this on. My boyfriend looked at me and is like, "You look like a gay pirate." And honestly,
okay. So let's dial it back and let's say that one of the original terms of the bet, while you look stunning, absolutely stunning. Okay, let's talk about what K1ck are going to do in the finals, because
Yes.
Mr. K1ck Tiger, you bet against them. You have now eaten your words, and they will have a shot at redeeming their Polish brothers Rogue tomorrow against LDLC.
I think in some similarities to Rogue, they have really strong team fighting. So if they can get into those positions, this is a team that really went head to head with Rogue quite aggressively when they were back at the Ultraliga. So now looking to be people that can go even further, especially in a best of 5 where you have that longer time to adapt. I'm hoping to see more from not only just K1ck Neosurf, but really the entirety of the Polish League of Legends scene, especially considering you have this full Polish side.
And Foxtrot, I mean, when we shoutcasted EU Masters back in spring 2018, one of the things we were prepping and talking about today coming into this show, I think you actually said quite confidently that had Origin not been there and had Origin not had that Challenger Series spot, that like Illumina should have won that event. So maybe this is a long time coming for Poland to pick up their first EU Masters championship.
It really is. Like, it's been 2 years since they've even made the finals, and they've always been a little bit kind of not really living up to the expectations that we have of the Ultraliga. Coming into 2020 spring, they were only assigned 2 seeds. They weren't considered one of the kind of strongest regions that we have here. But here they are in the finals, and it's the team that had to fight all the way through the play-ins as well. And I just think it's a great story for K1ck, and tomorrow's series is going to be an absolute banger.
And also looking at the brackets, K1ck Neosurf took out Gamers Origin. Gamers Origin defeated LDLC in their LFL playoffs. So this genuinely is one of the most intense regional rivalries that can play out this spring. K1ck Tiger, final thoughts now. Let's go from the LDLC perspective. Last spring, the French representatives of Misfits Premier, they picked up a championship. LDLC in a final, if they were to win, they'd be able to pick up the second championship for the French ERL. And no region has got 2 titles yet. EUM is still very, very young. You know, what would that mean for a squad like LDLC and the boomer in Yellow Star?
I think especially we talk about old and new players when we look at EU Masters and what the results of EU Masters can mean for them. You can see when a lot of them do well, they very quickly get picked up. Look at, for example, the victors in Mad Lions, who almost had their entire roster absorbed into the LEC. Having really strong performances, especially in the later stages of the European Masters, can be so important. Now, when you look at the likes of Yellow Star, who maybe isn't looking at being picked up, it's showing that not only are you still relevant as a coach, you are still there as a player, and you still have that legacy to leave behind, end on a really positive note as well.
Yeah, definitely the case. Gentlemen, thank you so much for today. That does it for us. We will be back tomorrow with the finals. It will be, of course, LDLC taking on K1ck. We will start the show at 5:45 Central European summertime. We will have some special pre-show content for you, hyping up the finals, giving you some additional stories. And I guess there's only just one thing left to say. We'll be talking to Shlatan. Yar, matey! See you on the other side of the break.
Hearing whispers in the night, voices filling up your mind. You're like a ghost of you. You've been drowning in the rain, slowly saving up the pain. So deep inside of you, see the colors of the sky slowly turn from black and white. A rising hope, bright as gold. And now there's nothing left to lose, so we're breaking all the rules. And they don't know what we know. 'Cause I can hear the thunder from afar, a lightning in the dark. I can feel a fire come alive, so calm before the storm, so dark before the dawn. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes, in your eyes. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes, in your eyes. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes. Now you'll never be the same once you felt that burning flame. You're chasing stars alive. What was broken's left behind. Watch it crumble in the light. Nothing can stop you now. See the colors of the sky slowly turn from black and white. A rising hope, bright as gold. And now there's nothing left to lose, so we're breaking all the rules. And they don't know what we know. 'Cause I can hear the thunder from afar, a lightning in the dark. I can feel a fire come alive, so calm before the storm, so dark before the dawn. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes, in your eyes. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes, in your eyes. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes.
Masters. I'm Quickshot, and that was Robin Schultz with our Warner track of the day. I'm going to be joined by Shlatan from the victorious K1ck. Congratulations on making playoffs. Frankly, it didn't look very hard. So how was the series from your perspective?
So the series, I mean, they didn't look hard, but they actually were, because we had to like prepare so long for this. We had to prepare draft, and I think these games, like it all came to draft. I think draft was really important in this series, and we just had better champions. We had better champions, and that's why we won.
I mean, congratulations. All the way from play-ins, second seed from Poland. You just saw rhuckz getting eliminated. How does it feel being the last Polish team standing in the final?
Well, it feels really nice. I mean, we have like big pressure right now because since we are in the finals, we need to win like the whole tournament right now, right? Like we shouldn't just drop now and not win finals. We are here to win, and I hope there's gonna be Polska Górą again.
Me too. I'm on board the Polska Górą hype entirely. Shlatan, while I've got you here, I've got two replays that I'd love for you to talk me through. One from game 2 and one from game 1. First of all, this level 1 gank. You made this look so smooth. Talk me how it happens.
So basically, I told my bot lane to put a ward like on their bush, so we see if they ward for level 2 gank. We saw that they warded Tribush, but they didn't ward like the river side. And then I said, Braum, just put me a ward. I will go behind them. We exhaust enemy support. That's 100%. He can't escape. They have to play really aggressive this matchup bot lane as well. So like it was ready for him.
Yeah, really nicely done. It really felt like everything that K1ck did today worked. One particular moment that just stands out in my mind from game 1, you guys won a 15-minute team fight. It was the first few kills of the super slow laning phase, like even CS everywhere. And then all of a sudden, Movistar tried to initiate on Raxxo, and you guys punished so hard. What was communication like, and why did you win this fight so hard?
So this fight, I completely don't remember. There was like a lot of chaos in this fight, and I think it was really close. It was like really close. I wasn't sure what I should be doing in this fight, but I guess my teammates just carried this fight. I don't know.
What is communication like when you watch this back and you see it ends up it's a 3-for-1. Matislaw gets the double. Like, I can see the smile on your face, but like, is it panicky? Is it calm? You know, what was the communication like?
I mean, I don't even know because I'm so focused at the game that I don't even know what's happening. You know, in those fights, like sometimes you just like feel what you should do, and well, I mean, that's it. We just won. I don't know.
Congratulations, Shlatan. You've been one of the most influential junglers that's played throughout the tournament. Some insanely impressive games. And it's felt to me as though junglers have been the most important role at EU Masters. Do you think that's true? Do you think that's fair? Or, how do you think the meta and how teams have performed has played out?
I mean, I think so, but like it depends on the laners as well, you know, because if you have good laners, then you can show up as a jungler like really well. But if you don't have good laners, then it's hard to do your job, you know. So if I have good laners like in K1ck, then obviously I'm gonna look good. I mean, it's not only about me; it's about my team as well. And
very humble.
I mean, in EU Masters, the junglers are kind of stuck. I think there is a lot of good junglers in EU Masters, but they were just unlucky and they didn't go through, I guess.
If I could talk about one of them, when LDLC won earlier today, I had the pleasure of interviewing Tinks, and I said to him, "Who's going to win?" And he said, "I have no idea. He said, I don't know who's going to win. It's going to be very difficult." I said, "Who would you prefer to win?" And he said he doesn't really mind which team, but he would like to play Eloya because he hasn't played against Eloya in the past. Now he's going to be playing against you. So number one, you've disappointed him. But number two, what would you say back to Tinks now that you know you're facing him and obviously the final, the championship's happening tomorrow?
I mean, what can I say? I can just say good luck tomorrow and see who's the better jungler and who's the better team. We'll see tomorrow.
I'm trying to bait you here, my man. I'm trying to... no, honestly, Shlatan, it's been a pleasure. It's really humbling. It's really great to see you talking about the team very positively. There's so much support out there in Twitch chat, on YouTube chat, on Reddit. The English viewers obviously don't get to know you or the team as often, obviously being in our team. So what would you like to say to your fans and your viewers and everybody watching right now?
Well, I would say thank you for all the support from the English fans, and in Polish I want to say something to Polish fans as well.
Please do.
So dziękuję za wsparcie wszystkim i mam nadzieję, że wygramy jutro, żeby udowodnić, że Polska nie jest tak słaba, jak ludzie uważają i że będziemy po prostu lepszą drużyną jutro i Polska górą.
For the English viewers, could you give a small translation for the English viewers who maybe missed that?
I just said I want to make Polish proud, and I want to show that Polish region is not that bad as people think, and it's gonna be the better region tomorrow.
I absolutely love that, Shlatan. I love that you give me the trash talk in Polish, but I got the trash talk. So, look, I just want to thank you very much. You gave a very entertaining show. I have one last little call out before we end. This is for you, Shlatan, for the rest of K1ck. So please pass it on. The second seed from Poland, They qualified the EU Masters through the play-ins. They made it to the playoffs and smashed their way through to the podium. And tomorrow they're in the finals for EU Masters Championship. Polska Górom! We'll see you
Polska
tomorrow.
Górom!